Welcome back to the workshop. Last week we fired up this 77 Briggs and well, eventually we did. A lot of you smart fellers in the comments right away were thinking the timing was off, and well, you were right. As for myself, well, I should have known better after 25 plus years in the trenches, but I fell victim as we often do to the, well, we fixed that and it's new parts, it can't be that. But as we found out later, it was that. But that didn't fix the problem of fuel pouring out of the carb after we shut it off.
Broken roads, desert dust bowl sun, where the bill man will call you almost every week. Which bills to pay today, what's left in the fridge to eat. Where stars frame the night.
Let's go oil kings. Let's go oil kings. Let's go oil kings.
This exact engine came with what we see here, this aftermarket carb. And I didn't buy this one. Aftermarket carbs are kind of a shot in the dark. You don't really know what you're getting. So I don't know what I've got here at all. But, well, I looked at some other things. I have this nice newer carb. I believe this is off of 5 horse, but we could change the jet, whatever, change the pickups to be longer, and it's all interchangeable. What I like is it's got this nice choke lever. I think that would be a little bit easier, but the little bell crank here is plastic and is broken. And I looked at getting parts and getting Briggs parts, fairly expensive. The cheapest I could get them was around 30 bucks Canadian. I can get a whole carb for 30 bucks Canadian, but then I'm back to using an aftermarket carb or putting those parts from the aftermarket carb on, to repair this one, which actually is probably the best way of all. But if I'm using aftermarket carb, I'm gonna try this one first, and then I don't have to spend any money right now. Later on, yeah, but not right now. So, there goes my furnace. I'm gonna shut it off. The furnace is coming on because this nice plus degrees, melting temperature weather we've had for most of February, oddly, and even January. It ended tonight. Back in the muck. Oh boy. A lot of snow coming in that window. We'll try this one. That's not bad. I don't want to have them open too much because of snow and whatever, but okay, we'll fire this up and then we'll shut it off after a minute or two. We'll see if it dumps fuel again. I hope it doesn't. The nice thing about this carb is that it doesn't have that slot on the bottom. It's plugged on the end. So even if fuel came out, it's got nowhere to go. But is that really good? That's not good. So All right. Of course, we can deduce what the story is here, right? The previous owner of this engine, it stopped running. He threw a carb at it in hopes that it would fix it. Of course, we discovered that right from the start there was a broken key. So it had a timing issue and the carb didn't fix it, so that's probably where it stopped. I'm liking the looks of this a lot better. Needs a little bit of fine tuning still, but I think we're in the ballpark. There's no fuel coming out anywhere, so I think that's good enough to go ahead and start disassembling and getting everything cleaned up, painted up, and then we'll put it back together, mount it to the compressor, mount the compressor, find a belt, find a pulley, find I think I'm just going to use a pressure relief valve so that, you know, when it reaches 100 psi or whatever, it'll just vent from there, because I don't want to deal with I don't have electrical to make a clutch work or anything like that. So it's just, rather than getting too complicated for the work this thing needs to do, and you know, then they can shut it off and restart it as well, right? So shouldn't be too big an issue. So nice. Ooh, what this also means is I need to get going on eBay to enginedecals.com and get some engine decals coming. Now, I'm a bit torn, and I'm gonna put up here on the screen both examples. So the first one is the traditional, you know, similar to my logo, or one of my logos. And that's the 64 to, you know, 77 kind of logo. And then, being that this is a 77 technically engine, that's correct. Or we can go with the later one, because we've gone to the, you know, we have the magnetron ignition system. So it's kind of nice to go with slightly more modern, like 78 to 80 style, which is what this red engine would have had. So I don't know, leave me a comment there down below. Tell me which one you think is more suited to this project. I kind of like the 78 to 80 style, but maybe that's a little too modern for what we're going for. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Look at this. Look at this. It took longer, but it still happened. I wonder if this cap is sealing too well and it can't go back in. Can't see that. Oh, well, it is. It does vent. But it's fairly pressure-y. Try the other cap. I don't know. I don't really think it's the cap, to be honest. And now we wait. I'll be honest, if it's a cap issue, I'll switch the carb back. That might be all it is. As unlikely as it seems, maybe that's what it was. Well, I think that settles it. I'm going to switch the carb back because there's no point using this one. I feel like the other one runs a little better. Anyway, I had to turn this in almost fully lean to get it to run. It might be sized for a 5 horsepower engine or something like that. So we just don't know. So I'm confident enough now to take this apart, paint it up, etc., etc., and anything else we'll deal with when we get to the other side. I might paint the tank last, but we'll see. Oh man. Well, cruising right along. I've got the non-red engine parts here. I hit them with some Rust-Oleum high heat because that's what I had on hand, and it's flat white. And of course it resists the high heat. It's not really gasoline resistant, but it'll be all right once it's covered with the engine enamel. I just wanted to sort of smooth out, unify the underlying color. So, this was copper and rust and whatever else. This was, it was white, but tons of the white paint had come off. So there's aluminum. I mean, you can kind of still see it. It's not perfectly even, but it's good enough for what we need just to kind of smooth it out and get a uniform base. They're almost dry, so I'm just going to move them over to the workbench so they can finish drying and start laying down some red on some of the red parts. And there we are. There's our first layers of red going down, just really light coats on the air cleaner housing. And I've done fairly heavy paint on the bottom of the tank here because it's the bottom, and I'm going to set it on a block to paint the rest. I have started just some light coats on there, but of course it's going to take quite a few to really build up the color. As far as color, it is just the Duplicolor engine enamel in just generic industrial red, which I think is a really nice match. I think it's going to look really close to that little red Briggs that's up there on the top of the shelf, which is original paint. So I think it'll look pretty good. So I'm going to let this dry for a while and then give it some more color and just keep moving on. Eventually we'll get to the block and shroud there and get everything nice and red. Well, there we are. The block and shroud have their first coats of red. Gave the fuel tank and the air cleaner housing another coat. And I had forgotten about the sheet metal, so that's got a quick shot of primer. And then actually I'm probably gonna, especially this top shroud that it attaches under some of those head bolts, so I'm gonna put that on right away because like after the first color coat on the sheet metal, because it's gonna mess up those head bolts when I bolt it up, and then it can be color coded all together. Truthfully, from the factory, these were fully assembled and then painted, so we're definitely going a little further than the factory would have anyway. Well, as you can see, I've installed the flywheel and the coil and everything else, and the shroud, so that everything can be painted together. Primarily kind of looking at those shroud bolts. I like those to be painted with, and the sheet metal's on there, and everything's kind of just one color now. I had forgotten about this little area back there, but that won't be very visible once the fuel tank's on there. So yeah, it's looking really nice. I've just gone ahead, you can see back there, there's like a little rubber hose. That's some really cheap fuel line that I've used to cover up the wire that goes to the shutoff, so it's kind of masked. And then what I usually do is I'll pull out the coil wire as far as I can and mask it off, and then tuck it back in, so then I can pull it out and unmask it and it won't be painted. From the factory, they did get painted, but I didn't want to. Fuel tank's over there. It's got its last coat. It's just drying. And that's, yeah, air filters over there. Housing, anyway. So I'll just let the paint dry up. And I've got a few other things to work on in the meantime. And, well, I guess I got to get this video edited up. And then we will see you next week. Until then, keep it in the litter box. Cheers.